Good day, everybody, and welcome to today's latest episode on my YouTube video series. And today we're going to show you a sample Malaysia My Second Home MM2H approval letter, right, from the recent SEZ, Special Economic Zone or Special Financial Zone SFZ categories, right? So this letter is provided by the Malaysian government. It's in English, so I will actually screenshot for you here to let you read it directly yourself, right? Also try and provide a bit more description and on this letter, right? And we also want to let you know through this video that you can get approved for MM2H right now, right? I did my video on MM2H end of last year. Some of you watched the video, contacted me and applied for MM2H through my MM2H agent partner. And I think we have some 10, 11 people approved right now. But just in case you don't know, you can apply, can get approval. Because some people still asking me, hey, Ryan can apply or not? Can I use this property or not? They're still not sure. I just want to let you know that you can already apply and this letter is to serve as a proof of that. Okay, so let's start. Okay, the first thing that I'm showing you here is the MM2H visa itself. Now, this is the thing that's printed on your passport, right? So once you have approval and you go for an endorsement by the ministry, right, this will be printed on your passport, right? This is by the Malaysia Immigration. So in this version over here, it says that this is the MM2H visa, right, for a male from Taiwan, right? I've blacked out all those personal information, right? And you can see that this is for up to 2030. It's a 5-year visa. I'm not sure why this one is 5 years. It could be a renewal from an earlier MM2H. But this is basically what will appear on your passport, right? To show that you have Malaysia My Second Home. The next thing I'm going to show you is the MM2H approval letter itself. So again, I've masked out all the personal information. So you can see here, this is issued by the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture, Malaysia. In short, we always call this MOTAC, right? So MOTAC is the one, the government ministry in charge of Malaysia My Second Home. So MOTAC issued this letter. Their office is in Putrajaya, which is in KL basically, right? And this letter is dated 8th of January, right? So application for Malaysia My Second Home, right? And it has been approved, right? And in this case, you can see there are 4 names, right? Which is the principal. The principal is the main applicant, usually the father, right? And then 3 dependents here. So the 3 dependents in this case actually is the wife and 2 children, right? And country of origin is from Singapore, right? So that's quite clear. Who are the members of the family in the approved application? So you see, point number 2, this approval is subject to following conditions. Number 1 is within 90 days, right, from the day of this approval letter, within 90 days, they have to go to the Malaysia My Second Home center, which is in the MOTAC office, right, to get it endorsed. Endorsed is basically to say that you accept this approval, right? And there's a short interview usually with the MOTAC officers, right? And 2.2 mentions that this visa is approved for a 10-year period. So fresh application is 10 years. Renewal thereafter is on a 5-year renewal basis. The following points under 2.2 basically to say that, of course, your passport from your home country must be valid during this period. And the other point is that for dependents, usually referring to the children, right, they have to be under the age of 34, right, not married and also not employed. So basically what the government is saying here that for children perspective, normally these children are referring to young children under the age of 18 who are not employed, not married and still schooling, right? For children who have already been employed or married, then generally their visa will expire, right? And they are considered to be a separate household and will fall out of this visa. So on page 2, we go on to point 2.3. So the MM2H pass holder and the dependents cumulatively have to have a 90-day total residency in Malaysia, but there is a bracket here showing that not applicable to those who are 50 years and above. So as I mentioned earlier in some of my videos, if you paid attention, 50 years old and above, no need to fulfill the 90-day minimum stay, right? Some of you are not aware of that because that's not usually written in the main guidelines, right? But actually above 50, 50 and above, there is this exemption. 2.4 mentions that you need to put US dollar 32,000 because this guy is aged over 50, so it's 32,000 US. Below 50 is 65,000 US. So you have to put this amount of money or equivalent in ringgit in any commercial Malaysian bank. 2.5 also mentions that once your visa is endorsed by the government, right, you can actually withdraw 50% for purposes of buying property, right, education, medical, or tourism within Malaysia. So how this works is that once you have endorsement, you go from a hospital. Let's say you want to do a medical procedure from a hospital. You go to the hospital, get the invoice or the billing, right, and you show to the MOTAC, right, that you want to use money for this purpose. MOTAC will have a letter issued to say, okay, then you can take this letter, go to the bank to withdraw the 50%, right, to use for any of these 4 purposes listed here. 2.6, participants are not allowed to participate in activities deemed sensitive to local culture, right? Politics, religious, missionary work, or any provocative activities that will threaten national security. This is to discourage, things which they may feel that sensitive to local culture, terrorism, or other activities which they don't want generally foreigners to be involved in Malaysia. If you look at basically points 2.7, 2.8, 2.9, basically it's referring to the principal. So if the principal passes away, that means the main applicant, like in this case earlier, is the father. Let's say the father passes away, right? The family has to inform MOTEC within 3 months, right? And you are allowed to take over the whole pass, right? So usually if father pass away case, the wife or mother may choose to take over the pass, right? And there is a process for this, so you can take over if you want to, right? And if the family decide they don't want to take over, they rather give up the visa, you can actually cancel the visa, right? And you can have the fixed deposit refunded to you, and you can then leave the country and your visa is terminated. 2.10, 2.11 basically covers that if you've done any crime in Malaysia or elsewhere, right, the government reserves the right to cancel the visa, as well as if you've done any fraudulent documentation or fraudulent declaration to the government also has the right to terminate your visa. So point number three refers to where they have to do the endorsement. This is the address of the MOTEC office, right? There is a one-stop center for Malaysia My Second Home at the MOTEC office, right? And we have to go there to endorse. And actually, there's a table here in 3.3 that details the amount of fees you have to pay. So this table provides a bit more clarity on the fees you have to pay to the government. And so all these fees are paid to government, okay, to be clear. So number one is the principal visit pass amount, which is 500 ringgit, but 500 ringgit per person per annum, right? So in this case, there's 4 members in the family. So it's 500 ringgit times 4 person times 10 years, right? And you have a total here about 20,000 ringgit, everybody included, right? There is also a processing fee. So the principal applicant, 5,000 ringgit, all dependents, 2,500 per applicant. So here in this case, there's 3 dependents, one principal, so total here is 7,500 plus 5,000. Okay, and there's a flat one other else participation fee, 1,000 ringgit, which is per application. So this is the total fees, right? In this case here, for this family of 4, right, is 33,500 ringgit. This is payable to the Malaysian government, right? So this one, the MM2H agent will advise you, right, at the point of application, depending on the size of your family. Of course, if less people, it's cheaper lah. More people, then it'll be more lah, right? And this is on top of the MM2H agent fee, right? As you guys know, the MM2H agent fee is 40,000 ringgit. That's payable to the MM2H agent. Nothing to do with this fee here, right? This is payable. These fees here you see here are paid to the government. And finally, on point number 4, there is this requirement to purchase and own a residential property within 1 year, right? So this is from the date of approval, initial approval. You have to own a property in the MM2H program. So depending on which category that you apply, right? So for SEZ, SFZ, this is in the Johor Bahru region, right? You have to own a property, a residential property there, and you can actually so-called verify the purchase, right, with the Invest Malaysia Facilitation Center, Johor, IMFCJ. This is actually right now in Forest City. It doesn't mean that you must buy Forest City, right? You can you can buy other parts of Johor Bahru which are not Forest City. I know right now there's a lot of this so-called rumor out there that you can only buy Forest City, but you're wrong. You can also buy other parts of Johor Bahru. As long as foreign eligible to purchase, you buy from a developer, this property can be used for this MM2H. I know that clause number 4 here is not very clear. It doesn't mention buy from developer. It also doesn't mention that you have to hold it for 10 years, right? But unfortunately, the letter is not so detailed from that perspective. Okay, so I hope this video was useful to you, right? If you still watch this video and you find that you still have questions, feel free to ask your questions in the comments below. You can also text me at my number +65 812 or send it to the email which I will display on the screen right now, right? If you're still not sure, right, if you guys are ready to make the application, you can also contact me and I will then direct you to my Malaysia My Second Home agent if you are ready, right? Also, if you guys watch this video and you find yourself very confused, please watch my earlier video. Okay, I also link it in the description below. I also link it in the earlier part of this video to go and find the earlier videos about Malaysia My Second Home, right? So you have more clarity about how this works. Now, Malaysia My Second Home is very popular right now because the rules, especially for the SEZ one, is fairly relaxed. It's easy if you compare to other programs around the world. The Malaysia SEZ one is quite, I would say, fairly low low bar to apply, right? So a lot of people are applying. We have a lot of applications from people who are from ex-Singaporean, ex-Malaysian. We have a lot of people applying from parts of the West. We definitely have a lot of applicants from China, Korea, Japan as well. These are also very popular countries applying Malaysia, my second home now. Okay, so thank you very much. If you like this video, do like, share, subscribe, share with your friends, share with your family, right? Who's interested to apply this program. And we hope to make more videos for content that you like here soon. Thank you very much, and bye bye.